Hello people, welcome back to the Just Show football show. Really excited to get into this. Look, if you want my honest opinion, I'm okay. Like, I know people won't want to hear it, but at the end of the day, the game was rubbish. Going forward, we were devoid of any ideas, but ultimately, and there are changes. You know what it tells me? Distinct lack of quality within the team. Distinct lack of quality. The midfield was all wrong again. I think Pirro, the experiment, is pretty gash, let's be totally honest. But look, at the end of the day, for me, we stemmed the bleeding in terms of conceding goals. We conceded 6-2, clean sheet on the road at a place that we didn't do well at last year. Farke's number and all that shit, Jack? But listen, I'm just glad that we didn't get beat. I can't lie to you. And it's now from Farke over to you now, 49ers, to go get us the quality that's lacking. Because if you want my honest opinion, when I've seen both lineups, we look a lot like the same. You know, we look very West Bromwich. Even the bench is poor all of a sudden. You know, it's poor all of a sudden for me anyway. So now it's back over to the 49ers. We get a point. We get a clean sheet. Defensively, we look really good. Still a few things to iron out, I think. But Bogle grew into the game. Happy with that. Need to watch the fouls. Rodon, again, I don't know what's happened to him. He was a bit slack at times. But yeah, look, West Brom, decent team. Be up there challenging for the top 6. And if we don't get that quality, that's where we'll be at, I'll tell you that much. But we need some quality bringing in now ahead of Chef Wednesday. But you've heard from me all the way throughout the game, my bitching and moaning. I'm really excited to be able to bring Andrea back. It's been a while. He's been busy. I've got my main man, Jack City, and Paul's with us as well. So without further ado, let's bring the lads in. Yes, lads, nice to see you all. Andrea, I'll come to you first of all because it's been so long, mate. You've ditched us, you know. I brought you on. Now you're on TV all of a sudden, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But no, it's good to see you, my man.
Good.
Give me your thoughts. Man.
No, it's good to see you, all of you again. Good to be back. Well, I'm a bit divided, you know, because in the end, it's good, you know, to get a point away at WBA. I know that you like me to say
WBA.
Like
WBA.
Yeah. Well, at West Brom and the Otters, you know, it's good because they'll be up there at the end of the season challenging for the playoffs, if not even more, because I think there's not much between some teams up there, so there might be surprises, you know, going forward. But yeah, it's good to get a point away at West Brom, but it's the only positive for me for today because the signs are getting worse. Of course, they weren't clinical, but they were better than us in every position for me in West Brom. And they dominated the midfield because Farke was wrong again. Again, 2 failed experiments, you know. 2 DMs. Me and Lockie have said that last season, you know, when he tried that. I think it was at Watford, you know, when people were calling, okay, play Ampadu and Gruyev when Strauch, when people were calling for Questwell to get into the team and play Ampadu and Gruyev up front, in front of the defense, you know, but you see that you have no progression because Ampadu drops back into defense because I think it's the formation and it's wrong because it forces Ampadu to go back into the defense, you know, in possession. So you lose a midfielder going forward, and that's just Gruyev because Pirro is inexistent. I'm sorry to say, but it's the reality. He's inexistent. Yeah, absolutely. But again, I don't know why he's still trying to get a 10 out of him, you know, after a full season. I told him that he's not a number 10. He can bring anything from the team, for the team in that position. So absolutely, Gruyev alone in there, you know, and what moved freely. He helped them in possession. They were faster than us. Swift moved
as well, yeah.
Very good between the 2 lines, you know, back and forth, you know. So overall, I think we were really disconnected between the areas of the team, especially Gnonto too far, Firpo not helping Firpo, you know, on the back, the long ball to Furlong every bloody time, you know, the ball get there and Firpo was just on his own, you know, leaving too much space and Gnonto not tracking back. I think there were plenty of wrong signs, you know, and probably will think more, you know, we'll talk more about players in detail, but also I think we're putting too much pressure on Matteo Joseph. We need another striker there because he's 20 years old. Okay, he's full of talent, absolutely. He's the best striker we have because compared to Pirro and Bamford right now, he's the best striker we have. But he's still young. It's his first full season. He was also at the start of last season. He was in the under-21s. So we're putting too much pressure. If you look at the starting strikers, I mean, of the other teams that are challenging for promotion, look at how many goals, professional goals, I mean, they have in the championship compared to myself. So myself still needs time to grow, as a player. We'll think in detail about single play, but overall, this is my view. I
Do you think, positive wise, do you not think we were good defensively?
Yeah, I think we were good with Strauch and Roden because we chose not to progress with the ball, because with ample dropping back, you create the width with of course Roden and Strauch. So they were good because they were always there, to close their initiatives when their players got past Bogle and Firpo. So that's why we were good, I think. But that's the main point for me. I think this team works better with a 3-4-2-1 or a 3-4-1-2, 2-1 especially, because if you play with a natural back three with three natural center backs and Ampoli in midfield, I think going forward we have more progression without losing Ampoli in midfield, because I think that's a massive loss. Of course, he's not playing well. He's not as consistent as he was, because I think being too back too deep in our own half, I think he absolutely changes the whole shape of the team, honestly, because you lose the playmaking player in midfield, and you have Grujev, who is also a playmaking player, but he's not a progressive player. So you have Grujev and Ampro back and Piro up front, so there's no verticality, no progression, and you're forced either to go with the long ball to the wingers or pass the ball to the wingers, but they press the wings, and it's over, because there's no plan B. These are the main signs for me after today again, unfortunately.
Yeah. Jack, how did you see it? I mean, Andrea's gone through a hell of a lot there, but how did you see it from your point of view, mate?
I thought it was horrendous.
The game, quality.
Yeah, honestly, I just think both teams are horrendous. I can't stand football like that. It was a proper advert for Championship, that one. It's just like, end to end, thrilling. I can't think of one player out of all 106 that ended up coming on that did anything. I honestly don't want one player. I would also argue the first 10 minutes, I thought we were horrendous defensively. I thought we got pulled about all over shop. There was once where the first dink over at top, and then Rodon was going berserk because the lad ended up having to go out wide, and we got away with it. But there were like 2 or 3 players left with him, and they did that consecutively for about 10 minutes and then just stopped doing it. I don't know why they give up on that. There must have been loads of room in behind with us, but it really frustrated me, to be honest. I do not like turning up to. I'm not in on this point thing, if I'm honest. I can't
really? You
it.
don't think it's a good?
It's a good point, but I don't think that's how you go and get a point. I think we were relatively lucky to get a point. I don't want to whinge, but I don't like it. I don't like going to West Brom with a feeling inferior. I really don't like the big bad baggies or something. I don't, they want to sit. And we were decent defensively in the end due to the fact that they couldn't create anything. In truth, could they? So I
Jack,
think we got away with one a bit.
Do you think that was Farke's tactical plan to think, look, I can't lose this game. I need to make sure that we don't. I know you don't like that, but do you think that's what?
No, I get it, but you can't do more than that.
No, I hear you. And I think he tried in the second half with some of the changes, and we did look a little bit better, but we still didn't create nothing. I hear you.
It's like a mentality on the ball. I don't know whether it's just like, you can put it on a little bit. Like Aronson sort of like pretends that he's at it and he's about it, and at least it like shows a little bit of intent. Nonto does it when he's on ball, and you think at least he looks like he wants to actually affect the game when he's on the ball, even if the ball does just end up going backwards like it were relentlessly doing. And I'm not whinging about the backward sideward passing. I know everybody gets on about that. I'm not actually on about that.
Did you hear the crowd were booing?
Yeah, but I didn't blame them because it were happening to me. Yeah. There's like a bone idol, like Bogle did it, Bogle, whatever it's called, did it a couple of times when ball got, they've pumped it out and he's got to go and get it. It's 10 yards. Just run. Just trotting back. It's all like, right, all right, and now I'll give it to Meslier. Just get on with it a bit. It's just like it just shows some sort of an impetus. It really frustrates me. I don't mind set up however you want. It's about winning a game of football, like you said the other night, Joe. I'm not adverse to that. It was just that were like watching 2 of the worst football teams try to work out who's worse. I can't stand it. We are not that bad.
True that.
No, I hear you, man. It wasn't great. It wasn't. It was a.
We could have just been more. We can do more than what we gave there. without going, I'm not saying go wild, go gung ho. I'm not on that, but there's more to give than what we gave there. It's just.
Do you think there's as well, like, is it a bigger picture of, like, we need some additions as well, right? Because you've ripped so much quality out of the side. But do you think as well, yeah?
I can only assume so. You know, I thought we were going to bring Rothwell on in 10 from against Middlesbrough. He kept pushing him forward. And, you know, he wants to come far too deep to sit in 10, doesn't he? Especially when Peru's obviously been told that he's not allowed to come past the halfway line by the looks of it, unless he's tracking back. And then Rothwell ends up literally centre-back, and there's 3 of them there. Ended up with 5 centre-backs. It's like, I don't know. It did my head in. We can definitely do more than that. It's just, and like I said other night, Geldart, you know, he will show more on the ball. He will look like he actually wants to affect the game in some way. I'm not saying, but to be honest, I'm with Peru. Like, are you telling me Geldart's not better than Peru just for 60 minutes?
I know.
And I don't want to have a go at anyone.
No, but even like defensively in that, when Pirro was picking it up on the edge, you kept fucking losing it and putting us under pressure.
It shows, you know, everybody whinges about Rutter, that he's a one-trick pony allegedly, and he's always losing ball and turning and that. Well, that was literal proof. Every time we got the ball in like a sticky situation, he's the only one that can actually turn and get us at it, like get us at their back line, like breaking forward. Yeah, it frustrated me. It's 100%. 2 games on bounce that did me head in that now. Yeah. That wasn't as bad as Middlesbrough due to the fact we got pummeled against Middlesbrough, but you know, I didn't like it. But,
no, I hear you. Paul, is there a case of, had we have nicked it, let's say we nick it, it's almost the perfect away performance, really, but when you don't, and you have to watch that for 90 minutes, it is shite, innit? It is shite.
It is. The one positive that you take from the entire thing is that we didn't lose. And I think from the very, very beginning, we were set up so we didn't lose. That was the general idea. If we're going to be handing out credit to anybody, I give credit to both Bogle and Firpo for managing to last the entire 90 minutes without getting another yellow card. I'm getting increasingly frustrated with this Piru at number 10 stuff. It just, the disconnect between the attack and midfield now is just, it's bordering on ludicrous at this point, because both Ampadu and Gruev like to come so deep to collect the ball, which means the space between them and Piru is just, it's huge. So consequently, we're having to pass it sideways, backwards, because there's nobody showing for the ball. I mean, Nonto drifted into the number 10 role a couple of times in the first half and in the second half. And all of a sudden, we looked a little bit more kind of livelier than what we did. Don't get me wrong, we didn't create anything worthy-wise, in fairness. But just, it's that we need additions, we need signings, we need a little bit of injection of something into the squad. Not because these players aren't good enough. The players that are there, they're good enough for top 6. They are. Those players that are there, we don't have the depth to compete properly. That's the issue that we've got. And I know
what do you do with Pirro, in your opinion, Paul? Like,
he works in a 4-4-2. He works in a 4-4-2, sitting off of a main striker. That's the position that he works well in, I think. Either that, or you're going to move him to, or you're going to move it to a 3 with wing backs. And work him in somehow that way. But he doesn't work as a 10. He isn't mobile enough. He isn't quick enough. He doesn't have the ability to turn quickly, to be able to move quickly. He just doesn't. Great finisher. Great finisher. Just, he's not got that initial, what you want from a 10. And then obviously Rothwell coming on in the 10 doesn't work either, because Rothwell's not on number 10. He's a number 8 who picks the ball up in midfield and runs forward. There's a massive difference. It's a turgid thing to have to watch. The positive is we haven't lost. That's the main thing. So you move away and you try and move forwards with it. The game against Sheffield Wednesday is going to be 10 times harder. 10 times harder than what it was today. And for all of those people that I've seen go and get Corberan in.
I don't mind him, but hey.
That's the football. That's the football that you'll get from him.
I think we better, but anyway, we don't need to.
I know. I'm just saying.
I hear you, bro. I do. I get it.
The other thing that I do want to say as well. Sorry, Joe. Just quickly, I was watching you at half time, and there were a lot of people giving Joe stick. And I'm not like, fanboying and licking Joe's arse and everything, because I'd have to part all the hair first anyway. But just, we've gotten to that stage now where we're all really, really, really pissed off that we're all starting to argue with each other, that everybody's starting to get aggressive with each other and be nasty and be thingy. By all means, be annoyed, but people are going to have difference of opinions. People aren't always going to agree. That is the beauty of being a fan of a football team. It's the beauty of being a human being. You don't have to agree on absolutely everything. What you don't need to start doing is attacking people personally or saying shit about people because they don't happen to conform to an idea that you have. By all means, have a discussion about it. But we're all, I'd like to think, grown-up, sensible adults. Let's try and keep it that way.
Legend. Thank you for that, mate. Thanks very much. Luke, yeah, come on, talk to me. I mean, everyone's touched on all the main points. I can't really fire your questions, so I just want to hear what your opinion is.
To be honest, I enjoyed my hangover more than that game. It was absolutely awful, wasn't it? It was crusty white dog poo. It was just absolutely just the worst of the worst. It was the worst 90 minutes I've had. Like, do you know, like what? I almost felt like turning it off. I just didn't enjoy a second of it, really. It was turgid. It was boring. It was regimented shite, and it's just become the norm now. Without any creativity and without any Creed Somerville's bit of magic and Rutter's bit of magic. That's the football we're going to have to deal with, I think, away from home. And it's not the Leeds United we love. You know, we've been treated some high tempo stuff over the last few years, and it's Championship football. The reality is we are going to have those games this season and probably plenty of them, but we need to do something to excite me, because at the moment, I couldn't care less today. I'm quite looking forward to putting the Goonies on tonight and just chilling. Do you know what I mean? It's not the highlight of my day anymore. I don't look forward to that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm lost for words, really. I mean, as everyone's already said,
do you think, Luke, as well? It's a just before you go to your positive, it's also made worse by the fact of the week we've had as a fan base as well. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, had we won the first two games, that would have been a good point away from home. Everyone would have been buzzing. You know what I mean? It'd have been a well played point for away from home. Would have been kept a clean sheet. Everyone would have been buzzing, saying that's what the performances you need away from home. But ultimately, because we haven't seen I would argue that actually the Portsmouth game was a good performance. The result was just poor. But I can't get excited by that. I just can't. I cannot get excited in the slightest. And we do need to sign some players, and urgently. The time's ticking. You know, it was 3 days ago when I last said we've got 2 and a bit weeks left. So it's even less than that now.
13 days, mate. 13 days.
So yeah, we need some players, and we need some creative spark in that side, because I thought Aronson might have been one to do that, but I just don't get. I don't think Farker is giving him a license to be creative. I think he wants us to play a particular regimented type of football, and even Willie Nonto frustrated the hell out of me today. Every time he got tackled or was down on the floor, he didn't get straight back up. He just sat there waving his arms about and smiling. He absolutely annoys me when he does that.
When Bartley cut him off, he spent about, I don't know, at least a minute on his fucking knees, and I'm going,
outpaced by 30-odd-year-old Kyle Bartley, centre-back.
Yes,
outpaced by a centre-back. It's just the whole body language. I looked at Bogle. I looked at Bogle a couple of times. Nobody was showing for it. Everybody was looking down at the feet and looking forward to what they're having for tea and that. It's just bollocks. We seem to have lost this real camaraderie that we've had over the past few seasons, where players want to play for each other. And with Liam Cooper going, Ayling going, Dallas not longer the setup, and then with Willie's best mates going as well, it just feels dejected at the minute, doesn't it? It just, and that again, it's highlighted by such a shit week we've had, but ultimately that's Farker's job, man. He needs to get a rocket up their ass.
Yeah, no, it's true. I agree with you. Like a lot will be said. I think that people will accept this result now and be like, right, okay, yeah, now we need to, get some players in and win some games of football for sure. JT, how did you see it, my mate? Welcome as well.
Thank you very much. Yeah, flipping, forget the result, forget that. The performance. I mean, come on. I mean, I was mugging you off when you said the Southgate thing. I was like, listen, mate, I've watched some drab football. At least the Portsmouth game was exciting. But flip me, I think I owe you an apology for a change, because that was some of the most terrible, woeful performance. I mean, I can't put it in better words than Luke right there. I mean, I'm not quite as eloquent with the way I can say things as that, because it was just terrible. It was two sides that just cancelled each other out. It was one of the most cagey things I've ever seen. And as you said, it's not even the players. Systemically, he's telling them to not be creative, because there's a moment there. There was one moment in the first position. I mean, obviously not literally, but pretty much in the way that in what he's telling them to do. Because there's one moment that I actually saw we could have had an opportunity to attack in the first half. Nonto wins the ball back high up. West Brom only have 2 or 3 defenders back. It's a good opportunity to counter-attack. Gives it out to Dan James. What's Dan James's strength? Running down the channels, taking players on. What does he do? He has a great opportunity to do that. He turns around and gives it back to Ampadu. Like, what's the point? Why are we going backwards? Why are we going sideways? Why are we trying to slowly build up sides? And as we said, like, I'm not even trying to bore it to death. We don't have these players, but when you don't have Rutter and Somerville to pull some magic out of their arse, we don't have any way to break these sides down. And the fact that we're seeing the same issues that we spoke about a year ago, Pirot in the 10, as you said, Milk turns quicker. Why is he playing in the 10? If you're going to persevere with him, put him in the number 9. They pulled a stat up where he lost the ball 53% of the time he had it. That's over half of the touches he had. He lost possession of the ball. And Joseph and Dan James weren't far behind on that statistic at 42 and 43%. Like, it just goes to show you how drab everything is. And at least if there was a little bit of a little bit of something that you could cling on to hope to watch. But the only positivity of actually watching these games, the only thing that gets me up is because I stream it and I get to talk to the chat and I get to kind of distract myself and get into conversation. Actually just sat there watching the game. What do you even have to get? Like, the fans in the stadium, what are they going to have to get excited for? You're going to Ellen Road. Like, you're going to be maybe having a couple beers and just stood there singing a few songs, but you don't even have any excitement to get off your feet, to cheer, to feel passionate. Like, they're not giving us anything. We're a fan base that have been starved our entire lives, really, of quality. We got kind of spoiled under Bielsa, and a lot of people forgot how drab it was for about 16 or 10 years of those 16 and how poor it was. So we're not a fan base that are deluded into thinking that we should be getting amazing things every week. We're a very passionate and very tribal fan base. We just need something. We just need a little glimmer of hope to cling on to, and we will go to the moon with that. But they're not even giving us that. We're not even giving us that. There's not anything that we can just cling on to try and give us optimism. And that's the worst part of it. Yeah. That's what's killing it.
Yeah. It's true, and do you know what it is, lads? I don't know if there's anything more we can say. It was just all a little bit mad. No,
sign players.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, sign players.
Yeah.
No, that's it. Because and fans have every right to be angry, honestly. Because if you give them promises after the end of last season, with the chairman of the club saying certain things, and then you sell all 3 of the top players of the team, Gray, Somerville, and Rotter, without, after Red Bull signing the sponsorship deal, who for me is not going to stay as a sponsorship deal in the future for me because of their history. If you say that signing this sponsorship deal gives us strength in order to keep certain players, then you sell other 2 players after that. Fans now need answers, and it's a 50-50, because we're not doing well in the market for me. So it's down to the club, down to the scouting department. Let's not forget, we were talking about this, me and Lockie. We have three men at the 3 top men, 3 in third well-regarded professionals, in that scouting department. Edmund, Steinson, and Jordan Miles was just arrived now this season. These are 3 people with huge credentials, but we are not doing well in the market right now because we have sold certain players. We're both Team Bogle. We're playing with a back 4, but Bogle and Turper for me works better with a back 3 as wing backs. Then we have not brought in, apart from Rothwell, of course, on loan, another progressive 8, box-to-box 8, the starting 8. Because today, if you want to play with a 6 and an 8, you play with Ampadu and Rothwell. But it's not, he has not played Rothwell, Farke. So in his eyes, he's not the starting 8.
Yeah,
so we need another one, a starting one. And we have missed that kind of player because Kamara was not that kind of player last season. As well as I always say that, the number 10 is crucial. It's 2 seasons we don't have a number 10. Probably one of the last number 10s we had is Pablo, the real one, who can go inside, play like that way, Rotter was good in that position, but in terms of turning around and having the space, and then in that particular situation, he could create and did properly, he did well. Look at the number of assists. But you need also number 10 capable of helping the midfield, like what Mo did today, like what Swift did today, going back to get the possession and progressing with the ball. And right now, honestly, I think there's plenty of work that need to be done. And it's a 50-50 because they need to sign players. For me, it's a starting number 9, a starting winger, a number 8 starting, a starting number 10, another fullback, because I think we are short there.
Well, if one of them gets sent off for fucked
exactly.
or injured, we're literally fucked. Like,
yeah.
Well, Firpo suspension's on the books as well because he's already picked up 2 yet.
Two. I said this. Yeah, he's coming round the corner, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because you just have Bogle then. Byram, sorry.
And again, for me, if you want to, like I said, you know what I'm like. I try to be positive about stuff, but the one positive that I would take out of that is just the Firpo was good in the second half. I thought he was okay, just in terms of controlling his aggression and controlling his going to ground and everything. Where we're absolutely foobarred at the moment, it's the midfield. It is the midfield. I mean, Bamford, God love him, did more in the few minutes that he was on than Joseph managed to do in terms of turning the ball. He just put in a really, really shit cross at the end when he just passes it to the keeper where he could have, if he dinked it, who knows what might have happened. But just that, I don't know what it is. I saw somebody on the comments say that Farke's lost the dressing room. I don't think he's lost the dressing room. I think what's happened is everybody...
It's a wild take, that, by the way.
Oh, of course it is. I think everybody is feeling the fact that there's a massive hole in the squad now with the 3 players that have gone. And I know we all say you've got to be professional, you've got to get on and do everything, but from a mentality point of view, it's a tough one to have to try and take. They should be doing better than what they are, but it's a hard one. It's a hard one. It's one of them. Do you think that the players have maybe been feeling like they've been sold down the river a little bit? Is it going to be difficult for us to actually attract players to come in? But
I don't think it should be.
It should.
Leeds United.
It's not. But the problem is, if you look at the way, apart from Grujev, they've always picked players after the UK market, non-players. Kamara from Scotland, of course, non-players. If you look at the other teams, they were more creative. They spent less probably, but they got in players who fit their system. So I think Raksaki went to Sheffield United. Now Humphries has gone to Burnley. All the players are going to other places, in the end. And options are starting to linger, So you need to be creative and go out there and pick players also if you want to spend less, but players that fit the system. At this point, if we're not spending that money for Raksaki, and that's why he went to Sheffield United, I read also the tweet of Joe and I agree with that. Are we spending that much money for Jack Clark, if that's the case? So if we were looking to spend less, then you need to go, if not in the UK market, to go and pick from the Bundesliga, from League One, like you did with Grujev last season.
Was the Raksaki thing not a matter of game time, though?
Yeah, it was. That's what the issue with Sheffield United have agreed to pay. I think it's like £1 million loan.
It's money. It's money, man.
I think it's game time because you couldn't guarantee him game.
It was starting for me because you play Yont on the left and Raksaki on the right for me. So it's probably game guaranteed.
And I don't want the club to pay what Sheffield United have paid, by the way. I don't want that. And he can get recalled. They can get in the bin. Fuck that. Yeah,
absolutely. But, overall, I think, again, it's a 50-50. You need to bring in players, and Farke needs to adapt better to this formation, to the player he has for me. Because to me also, I agree with Paul, the problem is mainly in midfield, but there's problem also in the attack because I'm not really calm with Joseph, who is a player I really like, and then just Bamford and Pirot. I think that is not a striker partnership, you say, a striker area, for a team challenging for promotion, in my opinion, because all the pressure on a 20-year-old Joseph, a very good player, then you just have Pirot and Bamford. You need another one. And in defense, I think he's not playing with a back three like he did, for example, in preseason, because you just have Weber as the other centre back and just Debayo, the young player. Again, like we said in the fullbacks, you have Bogle and Byram, and then you have Firpo. So work is needed all around. There's no squad depth at all. And also Aronson, I think people expect, certain people, of course, not everyone expect a lot from him, but let's remember that the last good season that Brendan Aronson had was at RB Salzburg in the Austrian Bundesliga. He has not performed on those levels again when he moved to Leeds at the Premier League, apart from the first 3 games probably. He has not performed on those levels last season for Union Berlin, apart from probably the 2 or 3 games towards the end of the season. And now he is not a player with confidence, because after 2 good seasons, you return to a club with fans. Some fans, a very large majority of the fans, not welcoming him back, of course, because he decided to leave last season, like Weber. And if they're not playing well, the fans, of course, will expect more from them because of the way they left last season. So let's not rely too much on Aronson, because he's a good technical player, but has he done it before in England? No. Consistently? No.
No, but it's a championship, though.
It's even harder physically than the Premier League for me in certain areas.
I think we've been a little bit unfair on potentially Matteo Joseph there. I don't think he didn't even have scraps to play off today, did he? Let's be honest. I think
absolutely.
I think with the 3 strikers, I slightly disagree. I think we've got 3 very different strikers in those 3. Pirro's definitely not 10. Forget that. Do you know what I mean? Stop even trying that. We need a 10. I think between Pirro, Joseph, and Bamford, we have got enough variability there to have good options in the number 9, provided we can get the ball forward to him. We don't seem to be able to do that. That's the issue.
The way we actually play there is with the reason Bamford actually performing better than Joseph is just simply because Bamford is like in the limited moments he's had, he's done more for me, and that's just because he's better at feeding off scraps, in my opinion. He's better at building something. That doesn't mean I want him to play over Joseph. In an ideal world, I want us to be able to get the best out of Joseph and create for him. I think that's the best way forward for Leeds United. But because we're not getting anything to him, Bamford is slightly better at picking up on the odd loose ball, his hold-up play, and kind of working things out of nothing. That doesn't mean I think he's better, but it just goes to show that systemically there's big issues in terms of creativity, and the only option we really have is Bamford right now, because Perot, as you said, just doesn't work.
Joseph in the box is a completely different animal. Joseph is very much fox in the box, right place at the right time. He did that all throughout pre-season, where the ball was coming to him at right angles in the box, and he was finding the space to get the goals. The way we played today doesn't play to Joseph's strengths.
But you make a great point there, Paul. That's exactly why I think we had a poor pre-season. I don't think that was thought out very well whatsoever, because the teams we played in pre-season weren't sitting behind the ball. It was pre-season. They were coming at us. So we didn't get a true reflection of the type of football we're going to be playing this season. We simply didn't. Every team we played was free flowing and coming at us, and it was end-to-end football. Where in reality, we could have done with playing a League One side, and we would have got more from that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I agree, Luke.
No, just to finish what I was saying, I wasn't saying I wasn't criticizing Joseph, because right now for me he's the only good one that we have in this system long term. But the problem is that he needs time to perform for me, because he's 20 years old, is his first full season, and I think long term he's the good one. But if he is not performing at the start, you need other players to step in and perform. I don't think Bamford and Pirro, for me, honestly, are those kind of players. Because if you look, for example, at Burnley, Amdouni, Foster, and Weghorst, just 3 strikers, they're better than ours, for example.
Go get someone like, I don't know, like Jay Stansfield at Fulham, just someone that can come on
a similar one, different.
I hear what you're saying, because if he is having a rough ride, Joseph, and he's not scoring goals and we need to take him out, then we're back. We fucking Bamford, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying, but I hear it. No, it's true. I don't want to bash it, but you know what I mean. Right, let me get some super chats in, and then we'll finish up. Like I say, it's pulling teeth in it. We'll take the point. Quality incomings now. I think that's a good shout. A lot of love for our annoyed Jack looks, to be honest, in the chat. Any more to cheer you up though? You've got some music coming in September, haven't you, bro?
I have indeed, mate. I just want to quickly say, just before I bang on about my music, the player's gone out is no excuse for that today. I can't.
Fair.
I don't. That team is that team. What's happened to like a lot of players actually thinking, oh, this is my opportunity to get in the side? There's loads of fringe players that couldn't get anywhere near it last year. We've lost 3 of his main players. You'd think, well, if you just ignore Gray, 'cause it's just a right back coming in, Somerville and Rutter, that leaves literally the front 4 is all malleable apart from Joseph and Bamford, that they're the only 2 that can play up top on their own. What step up? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
It's got there's got to be more. You got to be able to do more. Because if not, are you happy? Are you just saying like let's bring people in? I'm on about as a player here. Bring people in and then I'll go sit on bench again. Is that what they want? They've got. You've got to be able to give more. There's no point being what you're doing here.
I just think the system, like the midfield and everything, like there's just not enough people, say, around Pirro or whatever, and then it's the disconnect's massive, innit? So
Nothing
like,
up top today stuck whatsoever. No. Not one of them. There wasn't one moment when I thought we're actually going to hold the ball and these boys are going to have a 5-a-side game together. There was nothing. It was just bouncing off them. Nobody held the ball. And that's all I will say about Bamford as well. That's what he does do, like JT said. At least he's a bit more used to it. I felt for Joseph in the sense that he was just getting, just getting dumped with ball and then expected to turn and do something on it or win a free kick. And Bamford's that long in tooth with that. That's all he's done for the past 5 years, isn't it? So,
it's true. It's true. Cairo says, ignore the haters, Joe. I love what you do with legends. Derek says, boring game. We looked average at best. If we replace what we sold with some creativity, we'll be fine. But if we don't, then we're in big trouble. Gabe says, "Oh, big show, top left. Where did you get where did you get your Space Jam jersey from?"
Max Bunny.
I can't bloody remember. Yeah, I think it was DHgate or something dodgy like that.
Oh, there you go. And Jared said to the guy with the one Bielsa sign, "Don't know your name, but you talked a lot of sense. His name's Big Show. His name's Big Show." Well, it's the Big Show. Anyway, yeah. Mark, this I don't like, and I wanted to start this for a reason. It's not up to us. This is what all I've been hearing all week. It's not up to us. I don't like Farker saying, "Roll your sleeves up, we are United." It's not up to us at this point. The 49ers have fucking broke everyone for the last fucking week or so. The difference between me Saturday pre-match to now is just insane. Leeds United have done that. Not me. Not me. Because before a ball was kicked, we were romping this league. The first 10 minutes of Portsmouth, they were getting spanked 4-5-0. I haven't done this. They've done it. The people in charge, the performance we've seen midweek, and the shite we've just had to sit through 90 minutes of. So that's not on me. Okay, so it's on them. So we're not sucking the life out of shit. They sucked the life out of me this week, not the other way round. Because if you watch me an hour before kickoff, go back and watch me an hour before kickoff on my watch along. You will see it in 4K, and then see me now, and ask me if I've sucked that out of myself. Nah, listen, if I could, I would. Trust me. But just saying, I give it a go anyway.
2 ribs taken out.
Yeah, I give it a go anyway. Just on tip, maybe.
But just going crazy with that one.
But my point is, it's not on us, and I hate that when they do that. Roll your sleeves. It's not on me.
How can you be positive? Really?
Exactly,
how can you be positive from today? What? I mean, the only positives is we were tighter defensively after the start. And we kept a clean sheet, which we failed to do in 2 games at home, conceding 6 goals, average 3 a game. So there isn't a lot to be positive around. We've just lost our 3 best players from last season, and we have to watch 90 minutes of that shite. What's to be positive about, really? I mean, exactly. You know me, I'm the happiest of happy clappers. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's I'm struggling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what you know.
And let's remind that blind loyalty doesn't mean support. Support means also criticizing when you want to raise your opinions, because we all pay our money for Leeds United in the end. So we are fans. We all cheer and are sad too when Leeds are not doing well. So you see that I was very positive in certain cases last season. I was negative to other cases. I am this season too. I think it's the beauty, like Paul said, to be a football fan. You can have your opinion, be positive, like a player more, dislike a player, but it's not blind support. Going behind the team every time. If they're not playing well, we have to say they're not playing well. That's part of the game, and they know it too.
It is,
If I'm not
and
doing my job right, well, I straight get told.
Yeah, that's true.
You know
That
what I
is
mean?
true.
I
But
just-
it's not just like we're just flip flopping out of nowhere. Because the thing is, it's not like we're just seeing one bad performance and we're like jumping on it. A lot of the things we're saying are things we were saying 2 weeks ago. We were saying it at the back end of last season. We were saying it midway through last season. We were even saying some things at the beginning of last season. It's not like we're just pulling things out of our backside and whipping them out. It's when you're saying the same things over and over again and you're seeing the same things repeated, then you have a right to say it. It doesn't mean you want the side to lose, but
I'm still in defence of them. I'm still defending them. I don't think that's good enough on anybody's behalf. They need to do more. I'm in defence of them, and they need to, back me up a bit and just.
And that wasn't me digging that guy a thing. I'm just like, I don't like it when I didn't like. I said it when Farker said it. I don't like it. I don't like him saying to us, we need to roll our sleeves up on that. I'm sick to hearing of Leeds are a special club. We do things the wrong way because we're shit kind of vibe. That's basically what he's saying. I'm sick of. I hear what you're saying, but not right now. Because I've sat there and gone, I love Farker, he gets it. But not right now with the shit that's going on behind the scenes. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm not letting
season as well. They should be flying. We shouldn't be calling for it 2 games in, should we?
No.
If we're rolling the sleeves up now, we're up against it because 20 games in, when you have a bit of a lull, you think, no, come on, lads, get behind them, let's go again.
Yeah.
But we've started.
We've got injuries and suspensions to contend with yet. Yeah. We're very early in the season. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
We've got it's a long old
sleeves
trip
up now.
Yeah,
that's true.
But I to assure you, Joe, it doesn't only happen in England because the program that they do in Italy. There's also been a similar comment, from a person, that we were criticizing too much the market, and we needed us, the press, to get behind the team. But again, we are not a repeater or a resounding board of the club, so you need to voice what you have to say. You don't have to be. To have blind loyalty for everything that happens. You need to reason, to voice your reasons, positive and negatives every time.
Just to add insult to injury as well, Sheffield United are 2-0 up and Burnley are 1-0 up.
Okay, I don't care.
Yes.
Don't care.
To be honest, I'm more looking at the relegation battle as things stand, so I'm not really focusing on sides that might be looking for promotion. So,
oh god, man, it's fun, isn't it? It's fun. Anyway, listen, it is what it is. Move on. We've got a game in less than a week now. We've got a game against Sheffield Wednesday on Friday. They play Sunderland tomorrow. If they win that, they'll be bouncing. It'll be a very, very tough game. It'll be a very different game. It'll hopefully allow us to play with more attacking intent because they'll come and play. So maybe we'll see the best of Leeds United. And hopefully within them, we've had a few additions added to the side. They might not even play, but I just think it'll lift us. I think it'll lift us as a fan base. And then we can then hopefully be buoyed going into that game. We didn't lose. That's the main thing. We kept a clean sheet. That's another positive thing. And we move on to the next one now, folks, right? So look, smash a like on the video. Subscribe to this channel. Make sure you subscribe to Want to Know Better. Check out Andrea on Twitter. Check out City of Leeds fans and Jack City Music dropping soon. Make sure you check out Leeds Therapy and, of course, JT. And again, props to JT for last night's show. A lot of love for that as well, so big up for that. And listen, folks, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go watch some Premier League football now, I think, and actually watch some decent stuff. Although it's 0-0 everywhere else, so maybe it won't be. Who knows? Peace out, folks. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.